Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Watcher of Realms. I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to be joined by none other than Motor Mike. Mike, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's cracking? What's going on? I'm happy to be here, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Like, I'm trying to keep it all in. I'm hyped. It is, as you know, go time, but I'm ready.
It is go time, dude. Ready. It is. And you are our first time, savvy viewers might know, first time collaborator on the channel. I've been trying to get a hold of you for months, man, behind the scenes, because I love your infectious energy. People can already tell. I can tell you're going to be a fan favorite here, a viewer favorite, and everybody should check out Mike's YouTube channel. I have that linked, pinned comment in the description below. How long you been covering Watchers? How long you been uploading to YouTube, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
This is the funniest thing. I started last month. Literally last month. Like,
wow, I got right up the street, ladies and gentlemen.
I just love the content. I love the community. That's one of my favorite things about, like, the people that were here, how positive the content was. And, I just came from Raid, and, the game was fun. The game was great, but it was just, it was my time. That's the best way to put it. And this game was just first off, it's a tower defense. So like that already set me off to enjoy it. Then I was like, I still don't want to let go of the raid itch. And it had that component of a whole bunch of champs. So
absolutely. Well, hey, I'm thrilled to have you in the scene. Like I said, I noticed your stuff. I forgot the first, video that I saw popped up on my recommended, and I was like, I need to get this dude on, because that's the type of energy that I want on my channel, man. So again, we're gonna do a collab on Mike's channel as well, guys. So check it out. I'll have that linked for you guys as well in the comments. But today we're gonna, or in the pinned comment. There we go. But today, dude, we're gonna talk about. I love talking about heroes that we were wrong on, right? I love doing this. I've done it before in the past. I have a whole new, because I get a lot wrong here on the channel, which I love. So I have a whole new list, but you also have your own list. So I think that, I would love to hear what heroes that you thought were going to be better or worse than they really were. So you are the guest, my friend. Go ahead and lead things off. Who do you have first on a hero that you got wrong? Yeah.
Okay, my very first hero that I got wrong, and this is like a rookie mistake. My first hero that I got wrong was Mari.
Mari,
the unofficial Queen of Frost. The unofficial Queen of Frost.
I think a lot of people got Mari wrong, though, to be fair,
Yeah, because
you get her so early, you're like, okay.
Exactly. And when you build champions in game, the first thing you think about are, can they do good damage? Can they hit? Can they smack? And everybody said build her for speed. And I was like, speed, okay. And then I looked at her stats, and I was like, okay, they aren't amazing. And so I just kind of slept on her for a long time. But then I realized she is such a staple for players in Guild Boss. She is not, in Guild Boss, she is amazing in it because she adds I'm going to pull it up here while I'm chatting. I'm going to chat about it and bring it up. She brings the vulnerability to physical and magic damage, which is at 15%. Right now, where I have them booked, I think you can get them both to 15%. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's nice, but she doesn't do damage. Where else can I use her? And then I see her dominating in arena. I'm like, this, simple mage that doesn't do crazy damage is showing up everywhere. So I had to build her out. Those are the two main things that stood out to me. And then I started actually playing with her, and everything that came by her was slowed down to a halt. So she just made the game so much easier.
No, she's so good at, to your point, like, the slow movement speed, 75%. That's one thing that coming from Raid, just like me, like, I came from Raid, and it took me a while to recognize, it's kind of weird that the heroes in this game, like, you can have, all slows are not created equal. There's like different percentages. They last for different durations. So you really got to play around, or at least take notice, the longer you're playing, obviously you pick up on these things, at just how good, and having like a slow on the basic, plus all the debuffs, plus all the control. Yeah. I love Mari as well. I think what I did, one of those moves where the first time I got Mari, which is like 3 days in or whatever, I YouTubed her right away, and everyone was saying how good she was. So I was like, okay, I don't care what I do, I'm gonna force her to be good. And so yeah, I like Mari. Do you like the skin on Mari? Do you like her? Do you have it?
The skin is dope. I think the skin is dope. Oh yeah, I had to collect it just because it was a big plus, and I think it looks cool. It's not like the stat block thing people had the whole conversation about. I was like, but I figured out why I took so long to build Mari out, because I was coming back from Raid, and I was so hinged on accuracy. Accuracy does not matter in this game.
It doesn't matter. You're like,
I was like, where's the stat? Like, how are these gonna land? Am I building it wrong? So I just put her on the shelf.
before I give my first one, which is going to be a super embarrassing one, I wanted to come with a thunder just for you, Mike. Before I give it, how long you been playing Raid for? Like, do you still play Raid?
I still play Raid. I play Raid on a skeleton crew. That's the best way to put it.
Okay, so you just kind of go through the dailies, a little bit of motions here and there. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. A few dailies, a few guild bosses here and there, but
okay,
I just couldn't stick with it, man. I love the concept. I thought it was awesome, but I've waited 2 years for a Hydra head. So
no, I think there's a lot of players or a lot of viewers probably watching right now that feel kind of the same way. I see the comments. So okay, are you ready for it? Brace yourself.
Okay, bring it.
I thought this dude sucked at first, and I can't believe I'm admitting this on the channel. I've never talked about it before. I'm saving this one just for you, Morton Mike. It's Comet. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yo.
So no big deal. He was one of the first, I think the first legendary that I summoned. I probably did something that, frankly, a lot of new players probably do, is they probably, with their crappy new player gear, they probably pull a really good hero.
The yellow gear,
this hero
the purple gear.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, dude, Mari can deal more damage than Comet. But to be honest with you, I made the mistake even worse by neglecting to invest in him for a long time because of that bad first impression. People would tell me, no, Comet's a beast, and like obviously I know now, like that he's a top 3 mage in the game, or top 5 at least, right? It was just one of those moves. Like, I would love to hear from the viewers too, if any of you guys did this, where basically you pull a beast and you just don't gear them or skill them properly, and you judge them unfairly right away. And that's what I did with Comet. So like, it's kind of a cheesy one. The rest of my 4 are better examples of like, when I actually knew what I was doing. But Comet, I don't know what it was, dude, but like, it took me so long. I watched a video of somebody like basically soloing, not really, but like Comet destroying Gear Raid 221. And he was just the only DPS. He was just boom, 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 boom. And that was what finally I was like, okay, I need to invest in this dude, because my Comet does not do that. Yeah.
It's so satisfying watching him do damage. But you're right when you just said, like, when you start the game, you get these amazing champions and you still haven't really mastered how to gear them yet. So you're putting like level 8 gear on them and like, this guy's doing nothing. He's doing 18 damage. It's like, am I playing Watch Your Realms, or am I playing Final Fantasy? Like, I'm doing some small numbers here.
Exactly, man. It was so I'm glad to say that obviously I was incredibly wrong. In my head, like I knew that everybody thought he was great, so I was like, okay, he's probably good, but like, maybe a little overrated or whatever. But yeah, man, his ultimate lasts like 1,000,000 years and it does insane damage. So yeah, he's an absolute beast. Yeah.
He is an easy button mage. You start his ultimate and rest assured he's just gonna go to town.
In a way, he complements like Vierna very well as one of the top mages, because she's all about like that immediate execution, boom, dead. And he's like a sustained long nuke that just never ends. Anyway, who you got next, Mike?
Okay, so next up, this was a champion that I could not wait to get. Okay. I could not wait to get them for nearly a month. And then by the time I got them, I wanted nothing to do with them.
Okay.
And this is Zealous. This is the Marksman Zealous. I will say I wanted this guy so much. He's such a cool looking champ. First off, I was going off of aesthetics, so forgive me. And I'm a big fan of Bad El Khazar, so he reminded me of him.
He does look a little bit like Bad El, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Okay.
He definitely brought the scythe. I'm sure he brought the scythe. But like, I was looking at his kit and I was like, okay, he does AoE damage.
This is a good one, though. Yeah.
His ultimate has crazy, a good size range. Whenever I see that in the arena, of course, I'm playing early game. I'm thinking like, oh, if I see that, I'm about to lose. If I see his ultimate go off, I think it's called Running Sticks.
Yep.
And and now he's a boss, literally. But I could not wait to get this guy. But before I got him, I pulled Lasir, and then I pulled another Lasir, and I was like, Lasir does everything that Zealous wants to do, but he does it better. And for me, he does it better. And then I was like, okay, I was so hyped to get this guy. I was so ready to get him. And then by the time I got him, I was like, I don't want anything to do with this champion. Not to say he's bad. If you get him, have fun with him. But I just found a better option by the time I got to him. So all of my hopes were like kaput.
Well, that happens though. I mean, every hero in this game, right? It's all situational on your account, what you need, who else you have, blah, 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 right? I gotta be real with you, man. Like, I gotta be real with you. I'm kind of in the same boat on Zealous, only because I have Lasir as well. And I think that Zealous is, you know, certainly not his only use case in the game, but I think one of his best use cases is as kind of that debuffer for Gear Raid 1. You know, he does have that similar role as a Lasir, you know, in that way, on a lot of team comps. Plus, he costs a hell of a lot. He's 25 cost, you know. That being
he's
said,
rent. He's a watch of a realm. He is a cost. He's the price of a realm.
Indeed. That being said, though, I think he's, if you were to give him a letter grade, what would you give him?
So I would say, honestly, I would still put Zealous at B tier. I'll put Zealous at B minus, because he's still a great champion. It's just other ones that do it better. So I want to make sure people know that. I never want to just say champions are terrible. I always want to make sure I'm like putting them in their proper perspective of where they're good at, instead of just saying they're overall bad. So I would say like B minus. He's still great to use. If you have him, that's the only option you got, you're in good hands.
Yeah, no, he can put out some damage for sure. I agree with that. I maybe go B plus, maybe B plus on Zealous.
Okay, okay,
right.
Gotcha.
I'm splitting hairs here. I'm not. I promise you and my viewers that I will not go down the Shamir path. But I do want to quickly say, I made a video with Ivy Lee, and she was like, Shamir's amazing. He just got building with like 700 speed or whatever. And then I did the video, and I was like, wow, I don't think he's. I don't like him. I got to be real, you know.
Shamir's been cursing so many accounts so far. Like, people are just trying to.
Shout out to Ivy Lee, by the way. She introduced us. So massive props.
Sure.
And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So like, I get that some people like this dude, but I got to be real too at the same time. And I was so underwhelmed when I built him, and people still in the comments, when some people would not accept it, they're like, no, you're wrong. He's good. And it's like, nah, I don't like him, man. Give me Mari. If all you want out of this dude is like to slow the enemies, like, give me Mari. That's kind of how I feel about him. And anyway, I respect those who disagree. And look, I said I'm not going to get into Shamir, and here I am, 10 minutes on Shamir in the middle of the video.
Shamir drags you in, bro. It's part of his ultimate.
I was just watching. Did you watch Mabucket's hour-long dev interview by any chance, or no?
Bro, I literally, when I watched it, the first thing I thought to do was, let me make a video to tell people to go watch it. And I was like, people have probably already seen this.
Every creator got to like ask an opportunity to ask a question or whatever. So I asked a question like, who do you think the most underused hero in the game is? It was at the very end of the video. And then Moonton, the developer, was like, Shamir. And I'm like, oh, my question. I hate this dude. Anyway, you know who else I hate? Kriya. I thought Kriya was going to be good. Kriya. Man, I don't like Kriya at all. I haven't
met a person that says, I'm glad I got Kriya. I haven't met a single person yet.
Well, you're going to meet somebody in the comments. Somebody, because inevitably there's a fan club for everybody out there, I bet. Kriya, I have high hopes for her, right? I think with the right buff, like, she's a really intriguing type hero. And I think her kit with the Storm Crows and stuff, like, I think she has a lot of potential, really. She has a 3-second slow, but that slow is a movement speed minus 25%, man. Like,
yeah, it's like they don't know they're slow at that point.
Exactly. I want the 75 Mari again, right? Then this slow on anyway, long story short is, I thought she was going to be decent, and I think she's bad, frankly. I think she's bad, you know?
Yeah.
Did you go for her? Do you have her? What do you think about
I steered far away when I looked at the kit, and I realized, I was like, oh, wow. Because I was still early game when Kriya was coming out. So I was like, you know, she is not, her kit doesn't look like she does high damage. So I was just like, okay, this is me, early game Mike, you know, thinking every champion has a smack hard, and nobody should break, nobody should defend, nobody should heal. But I just didn't see anything about her kit that made me say, I've got to have this champion. And I will say B2, I try to find uniqueness in kits, so it kind of gives a sign that this champion is great, but not yet. There's the content to come. You know, you can see, like, you could tell, obviously they're building it for some reason. I just couldn't see any reason somebody built Kriya to say she's going to be S tier in this piece of content. So I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Great aesthetic, awesome looking champ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's cool. Like, I hope she gets another buff. She has the anti-healing on her A1,
which I'm glad they did add. That is great to add.
But I think they should have given her a lot more of a buff, I guess. You know, like, anti-healing to me is not consistent enough, even at A1, be a consistent solution. But I guess every bit helps at the same time in Gear Raid 1.
Yeah.
I still don't think it makes her value over replacement personally, but it depends on who you have at the end of the day. So, speaking of
even if they wouldn't give her damage, I think it would have been cool if they gave her a Venus Darius-esque effect where if she hits the same amount of if she hits the same champion a certain amount of time, there's a chance that she can proc that insta kill thing, like something like that. And they're not gonna rewire her, just something to make her something.
I think on her A3 she gives vulnerability to magic damage to 30%. Maybe this is crazy to say, maybe this is too greedy, but I feel like you could just add this to her kit, you know, like, and I think that she, without having to have her awaken 3, and then she's a debuffer, you know, like, I don't know. Anyway, who you got next, man?
Okay, so this is one, I'm gonna be honest, I know there's gonna be comments on this guy because they snubbed this guy so poorly when he first came out. Okay. And it is Kai. Kai.
Okay,
Kai.
yeah.
Kai is a marksman that costs rent to deploy, but I enjoy using this guy.
Okay.
The main reason I like using this guy is because one, yeah, the cost is high. I get it, but his range is amazing. He shoots so freaking far ahead, especially if he gets the piercer bonus. People don't realize he sets traps when he plays, but they realize that, but they don't realize they trap ground and aerial units. So you can snag enemies out the air with it and stun them for 3 to 5 seconds, which is awesome. But my favorite thing about him is that I use him from time to time in Guild v Guild. Because his cost is so high, you normally think about when you're going to use this champion in Guild v Guild. You're not worried about cost. And he's really good in the fortresses, because in the fortresses it's a single row that everything goes in. So all of his mines always end up in the path
just clog up, kind of pull like an AI type thing, right?
Exactly. And then he has the ability, a 20% chance to reuse his ultimate. So if you're playing like automatic defenses in like arena, there's a chance that it won't pop off, and plus you put it in so late you don't use them. But in Guild v Guild, if they have that ultimate again, they'll just use the ultimate a second time, and it's a ton of damage, it's a ton of splash damage, it kills crowds, it's awesome. And if you give him the piercer bonus, he literally can hit everything coming down the corner, every single enemy, because his regular attack hits 5 enemies too. So I got him at A1.
You're talking me into Kai. Yeah.
Look, it took me a minute because I was like, there's got to be some reason this guy was good. If I'm not mistaken, was he on the same? He was on the same banner either as Vierna or as
it was
Calypso,
someone better. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it was someone more wanted, I should say. Yeah, but I remember him. Yeah, this is good.
I think it was Vierna. I think it was.
This is great because honestly, I have him and I haven't built him because you know, I just never heard anybody say a good thing about him until now, but not a bad thing either. Just not a lot of talk about him. To your point, I think that banner was just like he was overshadowed. So to me, this is my favorite part of the video, man. Kai, my guy. All right, I like this. I like this. Do you use him in any other, like, is there any other area that comes to mind that you're like, he's a go-to for you, or is it mainly? I use of course in Piercer. I replace Razak with him. I just use him instead of Razak just because those explosions are more reliable, especially because if his ult hits his traps, it does more damage and stuns for longer, and you still can do the ult twice. That's why I use him. I also use him in Gear Rate 3 on the left lane. I just like the explosion because they do the damage fast, and plus he's a little bit of a cheat code. I'll tell you why. If the main thing you want to do is beat these levels. So if he has the ability to do extra damage and this crazy burst damage, all I have to do is get the upper hand and win one time, and Power Dominance can take over after that. So I use it as kind of like a little bit of RNG to do better, and then Power Dominance can cover me the next time I do a That's
run.
a good point. That's actually a good point there. And it is Vierna because I'm looking at their player ratings right now in game, and it's like people like ranking him bad because they wanted Vierna on the ranking. So
it's a hard comparison, man.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I've talked enough smack about enough heroes so far, so I'm gonna move on to some who actually impressed me. That I didn't think were gonna be great. And I actually want to start out by talking about Regulus, man. I sat on this defender
my first Lego.
It was your first Lego?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
I thought I pulled Leorius because he was reversing the hyper beam. I thought he was going to be amazing in damage.
Right? Like, where's the unkillable on his passive, man? You know what, Regulus? I thought every time I pulled this dude, because I had like 3 copies. Every time I thought it was Ajax because he's like battling a dragon in the animation, and I'm like Ajax, and I'm like, oh, Regulus. Yeah, Regulus. So
I remember those video responses too. I remember them.
Oh no! You my video?
Yes, I remember that one. I remember when you were trying to get Twin Fiend and Praetus was on the cliff. He was like 2 heads.
Dude, I gotta be real, man. I should just shut up whenever I pull an animation because I always guess wrong. I'm like, oh, 2 heads, twin fiends. It's like, no.
Guaranteed.
Dude, Regulus, I just built him wrong, man. I just built him wrong.
Yeah.
You know, this dude, you need to throw a ton of attack speed onto him because his attack speed, it doesn't have it on his, he needs to be promoted to see it, so it's not on the gallery here. But you build enough attack speed and it gets him rage regen on his basic.
Oh, you know what's interesting? I have not thought of that of Regulus. I just threw HP on him and some defense. I did. Now I got something to do after the video.
I think my Regulus might be naked right now. That's not because I had to mule artifacts around, but I will show just the ability right now for folks out there. It is deals damage to one enemy, increases defense by 5% for every one enemy's blocked, and restores 6 extra rage for every 4 basic attacks launched. So, and you can get that skilled up. And the whole thing about Regulus that makes him so good is his morale. His ultimate is insane, right? It's ally protect basically on everybody, right?
And it makes him difficult to touch in Guild v Guild.
Yes.
God.
So you put him in it with a lot of attack speed, and he's just got this insane, like as much HP and attack speed as you can get on this dude, and then you can just have this not constant, but almost constant morale. And that's where you can get the most out of this guy. So I was definitely wrong. And it was like, I just underused him for so long in the game.
You gave me some gems here. I got to do some Regulus
Happy to be
homework.
wrong about that, dude. Who you got next, man?
Good one. Okay, so this one, people probably know me a little bit for liking this guy. He shined, and believe it, he shined in Immortal Codex and Conqueror, and I'm going to find him right here while I talk about him, because talking about him is nice, but finding him is better. It is Azor.
Azor. How could you? I was thinking Azoth. My bad. How could I not think? How could I not know good old Azor? Okay, the most polarizing legendary in the game, I would say, on this dude.
Yes. I will tell you guys this.
Yeah.
I will say this. People normally judge if defenders are good or not if they have shields or if they have unkillables in their kit. If they don't have those, they just instantly drop them down a tier. I'm here to tell you Azor is a different beast all in himself. I tried him myself. This is why I say this. And I ended up getting, I think it was S+, or either S+ or double S in Immortal Codex Conqueror using Azor on my team, because I had Cerberus and I had Aatrox, and they just kept dying. I didn't have Lunacy Visor to keep them alive, which is the artifact. And so I was like, you know what? I need a way to buff these guys and keep them in the fight. I didn't have Constance. You can't put Dolores down. So Azor would come in, and he has an ultimate. Each strike causes 120% damage. That's not much to worry about. But when you click that, you see the video of his attack. It covers like a 9 grid of damage. It's a huge AoE hit. It's not insane damage, but his talent has a 30% chance of inflicting stuns with every attack he does. So he's just stopping the masses. And then the next ability right after that was the last one. It's one called Fortifying
with the
Sparks.
damage increase on the sparks? Yeah.
So it's a damage increase on the sparks, but also when he's doing his ultimate, he gives damage increase to its allies. It's not random, but he just gives it to them. And he gives them a shield equal to, like, I think 120% of his defense. So he makes everybody around him tanky. In Conqueror, so everybody survived. My Gluttony used to be dying, then Gluttony started making it through because he kept getting heals. Heals, that's a better way to put it. But shields, but he just made the team work. Everybody around him did more damage. Everybody around him survived longer. And as a result, I was able to go up like 2 letters in grade, in grade. So Azor won me over with that one. He won me over.
Azor, I have him fully awakened. He was my first fully awakened legendary, and I didn't use him in that Immortal Codex. So now I kind of feel like we recorded this in the wrong order, dude, because we offended everybody at the top of the video by talking smack, and all the gems on these heroes are actually a lot better than people give them credit for at the end. What a bummer. We're just testing you guys, the real fans, the real true viewers. All right, my last is going to be Apsan.
Oh, talk to me. I want this guy so much, by the way, not because he's amazing or nothing. I just need another defender so I can finish Piercer.
He's a fighter, but he's pretty dang versatile, and
Ooh,
he's so
talk to me.
clutch in Piercer faction trials, right? This is where I kind of fell in love with him. I think most people see his kit or whatever and they think Gear Raid 3, it screams Gear Raid 3, which it does, absolutely. But I fell in love because for a while I was like, I don't know, I never hear people talk about him as a top, fighter, let alone top hero at all. I'll prioritize other heroes, and finally I get around to actually investing in him for Piercer trials. And dude, he slays, especially anti-air, which to the point that we made earlier in the video, like if there's ever, which there's going to be, like when they release more heavy air content, he's going to be so clutch. Because there's not that many fighters who can even target air, and he's the best just in terms of air damage. He prioritizes airborne units. He does extra damage to airborne units. Airborne units on his talent deal 150%, over 100%. It's all about targeting air, right, on this dude. So if you're looking for, I don't know, a marksman in a fighter's body, it's Apsan, and obviously you can use him as a blocker. He can take a few hits as well as a melee unit. So he's really carved out a niche that might get better and bigger with more content that comes to the game as, one of the better. And you can see his range too on the screen. He's got one of those.
He matches Zillatu.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
A Zillatu arrogance type range, and I just feel like he kind of gets like a bad rap because no one talks about him in a similar fashion as some of those other heroes out there. But certainly Gear Raid 3 and Faction Trials right now in some areas of Void Rift, he's amazing. He's really, really good.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I was on the exact same train. I didn't know what he was amazing for. I'll be honest, I didn't dig a whole bunch into his kit because I just didn't hear anybody saying he's awesome. But now that you're telling me this, I'm actually I will tell you guys, I try not to do a bunch of content on champions I don't have until I have them and I can test them and then I read their kit and such. But now that I'm looking at this, I was like, these are some really good options. I'll just headbutt against any champion in arena and just hope I'm going to win against them and then wonder why.
The best about him is his Deadly Assault, his auto ultimate, right? It's only a 450 cost. You can get it down to 400 and it deals 650% damage to airborne. And,
oh my goodness.
It's a big boy ultimate that's super cheap. So again, if you can get enough rage regen, attack speed on this guy, I mean, he could just be a machine. I feel like if you can take advantage of that cheap Deadly Assault ultimate, especially against air, he can put out an insane amount of damage. But again, his use case is a bit niche because if you're going against ground units or whatever, there's obviously better options out there. But I was a fan.
That's a heck of a stalwart champion, though. Like, he just holds the ground. I like that. Now that I know that he's an anti-air threat, I'm going to be a little more mindful of what I use in Guild v Guild.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Okay, you have one left, right? You're the last?
I have one left, and I'm glad that you mentioned Apsan because I was mentioning I needed Apsan for a Piercer faction for faction trials. My last one is an upset. I know people are going to be upset at me about it, but who cares? I'm here to talk about it. My last champion that I snubbed for the longest, even though I was glad when I got him, was Ajax. Ajax, the last Dragon Rider, which apparently there's more, but...
You're not saying you don't like Ajax, are you?
Well, it's funny. Like, I got him, I pulled him. I was like, he's cool, he's awesome. And then I just started using them in less content here, less content there. I found other champions that did great jobs and, great guy. I want to say great guy. Like I met him in person.
Yeah, Ajax, he's a fine dude. Always never misses his mom's birthday. He's just always there.
Always makes it the appointments on time because he's riding a dragon.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I enjoyed. I was like, okay, I like using this guy. One of my favorite things about him was the ability with the magic resistance reduction that he adds.
The Dragon's Might.
I use him in Clan Boss. Yes, I said Clan Boss. Oh, watch your rounds. I'm here, not there.
I know. Champions, heroes, shards, stones, skill crystals, legendary books. It's ridiculous. Can't they use the same terminology? Gee whiz.
I'd be in court the next morning.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to saying skill ups instead of books.
Yeah.
But the thing that I realized, I was like, okay, I'm starting to kind of teeter from using him as often because he's a great champion. Yeah. And he's very versatile. But that being said, with the new update that came out, he is now usable in all of the faction trials. So I'm using him, and every team that I have a Lord in, he gets the benefits from it. So like if I put him in a Northerners team, he's getting the extra shields and he's beefing those up when they come in more often. If I put him in Piercer trials, his range becomes freaking crazy. Like, he covers so much space.
That's true. I'm gonna plead ignorant, man, and just be real with you. I didn't realize they changed it so he's available everywhere. Now I'm gonna take advantage immediately.
Yeah, it's funny because you're like he's
When did they do
a chameleon. This has got to be within the past like week or two. This is
I
very,
feel better
very
now. I feel
recent.
better.
Yeah, it's very recent.
As long
very
as you're not
recent.
like it happened 4 months ago, bro. I'm like, oh shoot.
I sent Fasty a message and said, "What's wrong with this picture?" And there's a picture of the Faction Trial champions. He was like, "Yeah, Ajax, he's available now." I was like, and then I did the same thing to Ivy. She was like, "Yeah, he's available now." I was like, "I got to get on these notes more."
Okay, so if I hear you correctly, you were hyped when you got him. You were a little bit disappointed, and now you're hyped again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, I loved them. Then I was like, other champions are good, and then I realized because the main thing we always wanted was to use them in faction trials.
Yeah.
To try to use, because you couldn't use them anywhere other than couldn't use them in any of the trials, and now you can use them in all of them. And every day it's like opening a new gift because you're trying a new trial with them to see how it works. It's dope. It's really awesome.
I'm gonna get right in on that. I haven't even done
too.
my faction trials for the day yet, so let me see.
Yeah.
I just want to, not that I don't believe you, but I just want to see. I want to see.
Believe the hype.
Let's see. Oh yeah, he's right there available.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick out your guy Zealous for him. There we go. Boom. Wow.
Sorry, fellas.
Okay, well, that's actually a great little tip for yours truly. Thank you so much for telling me that. I had one more for the video, but I want to still have time to record on your channel, and I gave the bonus Shamir. I'll just say for the very end of the video, though, my last one was going to be Nyx. She was one of the first legendaries that I ever summoned. And I love Nyx. Did you experience Nyx at all?
I'm so on the Nyx train. Nyx is my biggest argument to Kai because everybody's like, just use Nyx. And I was like, but not everybody has Nyx. I gotta justify the point.
Nyx is unbelievable. And I first fell in love with her also in faction trials because she was like, what is it? Like those spiders or whatever in the faction, in the Piercer trial. And like she was the only one who could just blow them the hell up. And she was with the mortar might coming down. She was bringing that mortar damage from me, and I was pumped. And then I started using her. Now she's my go-to on Gear Raid 321. She handles that left-hand side like a pro.
Yes.
I love me some Nyx. I was deterred by her cost, but I was wrong. She's a beast, you know?
She's undisputed. She's probably my favorite AoE marksman in the game. Easily. Because you just press the ultimate button, and you know she's going to be over there working while you're doing other stuff on the game.
I think I'm in the same boat, because I love Razak too, but I think Nyx, I like her a little bit more. Anyway, I digress.
Agreed.
I want to leave time to go record on more at Mike's YouTube channel, guys. Make sure you go subscribe. Give Mike some love. I really enjoyed this collab. I hope you guys did too. Mike, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
It has been a blessing. It's been an honor. I can't thank you enough, man. This has been this is the highlight of the weekend right here. And we got one more to go.
Keep going, man. Well, listen, we'll have you on again if you didn't offend too many people with your Ajax hate. We'll have you on again. We'll have you on again. Guys, thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. Much love, and as always, take care.